Hi guys, good evening and welcome back to season 18, round 5 of the Aero League Racing's GT7 Championship. This is Tier 1. We're this week at Michelin Road, Atlanta. So yeah, obviously after last week we got BX Royal still at the top of the standings with 114 points, and we got Racing Green in second place with 108 points. We got Zico in third with 105. Yannick's now in fourth with 87. We got Viking Dog in fifth with 86. Capel is in sixth place with 75 points. Kellen in seventh with 74. Then we've got Alessandro in eighth with 69 points. CMP is in ninth with 60 points. Anonymous in 10th with 33. We've got Auto Ration in 11th with 32 points. Astro's in 12th with 30 points. And we've got Tintin in 13th with 19 points. Perry's in 14th with 18 points. We've got Polito in 15th with 16. And Iggy in 16th place with 10 points. So obviously this is post-coms this week's. I couldn't make Monday, so obviously qualifying has been underway. This is the grid after qualifying. We've got BX Royal lining up on pole with Alessandro there in second place. Lattis making his debut here. Currently in third place on the grid. Kellen is currently in fourth. We've got Zico there in fifth. Capel starts in sixth. CMP in seventh. Viking in eighth. Perry in ninth. Yannick in 10th. Auto Ration in 11th. Racing Green in 12th. Anonymous 13th. Astro in 14th. Kep in 15th. And Tintin will round out the field in 16th. And obviously we've got 16 drivers this week because I obviously wasn't there on Monday. I normally take up the 16th slot. So without further ado, should we get into the first race of the evening, which is the sprint race. Oh, what is this doing? So I'm just trying to queue up the klaxon. Tablet's not really wanting to have none of it today. I think it also thinks it's too hot. Right, anyway, without further ado, we shall get into this first race of the evening, the sprint race. So let's get it underway. Now you've heard it, the klaxon is away. Lattis takes to the grass. He's actually, it looked like he got the overtake done off track there. That was a bit of a sketchy move really, but then didn't really have the room to get past BX Royal. BX Royal now gets the switch back up the hill. They're going to be side by side coming into the S section. I think BX is going to win that one. Lattis drops down to second place now, but he got a really good getaway at the start there. Zico now up to third. We've got Alessandro there in fourth place. We're going to have to keep an eye on these top four at the moment because they're very close indeed, as we can see some battles forming in the background there as well. We will have a quick rundown through the pack and see what everybody else is doing. And it looks like, who is that? So Zico has a look on the inside of Lattis, not quite close enough on that occasion to be able to get a move done. Alessandro still sitting patiently behind him. We've got Capel now onto the back of Alessandro. Kellen's there in sixth. Oh, Kellen has a moment. He's off into the barrier. He managed to save it, actually, not into the barrier for Kellen, but he has lost the position to CMP, who is now onto the back of his teammate. Perry not far behind there in 8th place, going to try and cover off his teammate. The two McLaren boys running 7th and 8th respectively. They've got Viking Dog not far behind him, and Zico looking for a move now up the inside into the chicane. But Lattis manages to keep it on the exit there. Has Zico got the momentum as they come down the hill for the first time? It's going to be the start of lap 2. It's only a 12 lapper, this one. And BX Royal has started to creep away now as Zico has another look, another attempt up the inside, not quite close enough to get it done. He's going to resume the battle for this lap. And we've got the two Lexus very, very close indeed now to Alessandro. Alessandro is going to be feeling that pressure. He can't find his way past Zico, but in fact, actually not having to go too defensive as yet against the Lexus. I think they're going to be forming a plan to launch an attack in the next couple of laps. As Capel there, almost going to move done under braking. It looked like he'd managed to slide his nose alongside Alessandro, but wasn't quite alongside enough to be able to pull the move off. Some small little gaps starting to form now. How close is Zico this time around? Will he be able to go for a move into the chicane once again? And he has pulled out to the inside to have a look, but he isn't close enough under braking. Alessandro very, very close indeed now though. Alessandro really close to the back of Zico. Zico has actually lost the rear bumper of Lattis by a couple of tenths. Like a Capel thinking about a move there up the inside. Got to be really alongside coming into turn one and very confident to be able to get that move done up the inside. Bit of a strange one turn when you want to try and carry as much speed through there as you can, but it is sharper than you expect and uphill. So Capel there in 5th, CMP still in 6th with Kellen in 7th. Viking Dog has managed to get past the other McLaren now. Where's the other McLaren gone? We've lost one of the McLarens. So Racing Green is now in 9th with Yannick in 10th, and it was Perry. So Perry now down to 11th place. Perry actually losing it on the exit there ever so slightly, managed to regain control of the car, but it's cost him a couple of attempts to Yannick. We've got Anonyma now in 12th place, Auto Ration in 13th, Astro in 14th, being challenged by Kep in 15th. Or Kep was in 15th. Looks like he may have got a move done in that Mitsubishi Evo. Manages to slot ahead of Astro. Will Astro have an answer come into the bus stop? Not on this occasion, but he does close right up under braking. Tintin not far behind the two of them. BX Royal, however, now with a couple of second lead over the rest of the field. Can't actually see the timings because race replay. You'd think that they'd save the live timings, but for some reason, Polyphony have never got that right. So this is the next closest battle at the moment. Second place, still being chased down by Zico in 3rd. Lattis starting in 3rd place, doing really well here in his debut. He's managed to make up a position. He's kind of lost the leader ever so slightly at the moment, but maybe trying to save his tyres for the last stages of this sprint race. We're lap 4 now of 12. And you can see there is quite a sizable gap now from BX back to Lattis, who's still well and truly got Zico in tow. And Zico is still under pressure from Alessandro in the M6. So it looks like maybe everybody's settling into their positions now, although further back we do have a few little battles going on. Viking Dog is still trying to find his way past Kellen up ahead in the McLaren 650S. Now Viking Dog obviously returning this season, he's made an absolute impact so far, hasn't he? Managed to find himself, well, from the bottom of the standings, he's fought his way all the way up to 6th place in a matter of rounds. Some people were saying he's washed, but he definitely isn't. Racing Green looks like he might be struggling a little tiny bit this evening. Maybe not a track for the Peugeot RCZ. We've seen Racing Green has been absolutely rapid so far this season as well, and previous seasons. As Perry has a cheeky look against Yannick there, not quite close enough. Yannick will keep the position for the meantime. And will Perry have a look into turn 1, as it looks like Viking Dog up the inside, is he off Kellen? Kellen with a bit of a deeper line, that's compromised him ever so slightly coming up the hill, but he's going to be on the inside. No, he isn't. So Viking Dog does get the move done. Kellen trying to fight back. There's a small train forming ahead. That's Lattis, Capel and CMP. Viking Dog wants to try and get onto that train ahead of him. Maybe try and pull him away from these cars behind that are still trying to retake that position. Oh, and Racing Green up the inside now of Kellen. I don't know if there's a tiny little tap in the previous braking zone. It just looked like it was very, very close between them two cars. Keller now finds himself in 9th place. Racing Green is up in position, up into 8th. Viking Dog now onto the back of CMP in the Lexus. He's going to pull out, have a look up the inside. Is he close enough? He is. Oh, he manages to get it done under braking, but CMP's going to have the inside for the exit. And he keeps the position. Viking Dog still trying to fight back on the inside now, on the downhill sector, on the run to the start finish. Up the inside through the final turn, they're side by side. He's going to keep the inside line coming into turn 1 now. I think CMP as well, Capel, sorry, having a move against, not quite. Wait, so Lattis is down a position. Lattis has lost position. He was up in 2nd place, and Alessandro and Zico have both managed to pass him. BX Royal up ahead with a second's worth of penalty. That's not going to slow him down too much. He's actually got the fastest lap in this race at the moment as well. How much is this going to slow BX down? Not too much at all. I think Alessandro is probably rubbing his hands there, thinking he may have been able to get a little bit closer than he currently is. But that was only a second's worth of penalty. Obviously the penalty system doesn't slow the cars down as much as it used to anymore. So Lattis now under pressure from Capel. He had such a great start, didn't he, in the Mercedes, but must have had a moment somewhere, lost a couple of positions, now finds himself in 4th place, being chased down by Capel. Capel looking quite hungry behind in the Lexus. Viking Dog still on his charge at the moment, trying to close that gap up ahead to Capel. Racing Green has managed to get past Keller, and as I say, not managed to drop him just yet. He's going to be wanting to try and get into that slipstream up ahead of Viking Dog, but at the moment he's got Kellen still to contend with. Kellen wants to try and retake that 7th position. Perry still holding on to 9th at the moment, not close enough to go for a move on his teammate yet. Yannick is there in 10th. We have a gap back to Automotion in 11th, who's in a bit of no man's land at the moment, the second of the two Porsches. A second and a half or a couple of seconds behind him in 12th place. Then we've got Anonyma in 13th. Tintin there in 14th. And CMP somehow all the way off the back of the pack now in 15th. He was up there with his teammate. Not sure what happened to CMP. However, Alessandro has started to close now to BX Royal. BX Royal still in control of the race, but his tyres looking like they're starting to fade a little bit. Alessandro's do definitely look like the better tyre at the moment. Definitely. As we approach the end of lap 9 as well, it looks like we've got some weather descending around Road Atlanta, the Michelin Raceway. As I say that, BX seems to have extended that gap ever so slightly. So the top 3 actually fairly evenly spaced out at the moment. Zico still has a nice bit of breathing space over Lattis. Lattis still managing to keep that 4th place away from Capel. Capel, try as he might, has still been unable to find a move, find an opportunity to be able to get the move done. not having to defend against Viking just yet. Viking still waiting in the wings there in 6th place. Viking with an absolutely cracking start as well. He's made up several positions. So the two Mazdas running 3rd and 6th at the moment. And then there's a gap back to Racing Green. Racing Green, who's managed to create a tiny bit of breathing space over Kellen now. Not having to go defensive as he was in the previous laps. Kellen still pulling his teammate along there. Yannick there in 9th place, hasn't dropped out of the slipstream yet. Yannick still unable to creep into that tow range. Auto-Rotation still in no man's land, as is Astro. Anonyma also find himself in no man's land now as well, as is Tintin and CMP. So all eyes at the moment on BX Royal, who looks like he's managed to pull out a couple of attempts again over Alessandro there in 2nd place. I think Alessandro is going to be hoping that BX maybe picks up another penalty somewhere. He's going to have to be very mindful to try and keep it clean. Through this last 2 laps, a lap and a half to go. But yeah, at the moment, the field seems to have settled down somewhat. Not too many moves being made. I think the closest position at the moment is Capel and Viking Dog. So Viking Dog maybe trying to set up a move now on Capel. Capel's going to have to cover that inside line off. Viking Dog gets shown around the outside, but not quite. Yeah, it doesn't quite manage to get it done that time around, but maybe on the exit here, he's been very good on this final downhill approach to the start-finish. Capel keeps that position for the minute though. He's going to defend the inside line now coming into turn 1. And Viking Dog tries to sweep around the outside. Has he managed to get it done? He has. That was a move there from Viking Dog. That has compromised Capel as well. Capel now under the attention of Racing Green. Racing Green maybe waiting in the wings there, trying to save his tyres. Is it too little too late though? I'm going to have to go on board with the race leader in just a second because he will be coming up to the final sector. We may see some moves come here though between these 3 cars into the final bus stop. Oh, and we do see moves being made. Viking Dog has had to cover off the inside. Racing Green's going to have a look around the outside, but isn't going to quite get that move done. We're going to have to go on board with BX Royal as he comes around the final turn, takes the win in the first race. Alessandro 2nd place. Zika will take 3rd. Lattis will take 4th place. Viking Dog in 5th. Capel 6th. Racing Green 7th. Kellen in 8th. Perry will take 9th. Yannick in 12th. Auto-Rotation in 11th. Astro will take 12th. Anonyma will take 13th. Tintin 14th and CMP will finish in 15th. And we lost someone, didn't we? We had 16 drivers at the start of the race, so somebody dropped out during that race. That was race 1, guys. Anyway, I'll be back for race 2 ever so shortly, so stay tuned for that one.